Yeah, well, welcome back to the grind here on another Friday. Time to put out a video, I guess. So this week here, there's Buster's with me. This week I've got the water. Now it looks like a bit of an octopus, but that's the radiators installed and the water's all there and everything like that. So that's starting to look a little bit like it might run soon. So I did also get the electrics hooked into it. There's the ignition and everything like that. Needs a battery, and that's not a problem. And I'll get the spark plugs hooked up in the coils here. Then I also have a fuel can over there that I picked up at Canadian Tire, of all places, that I use for running the fuel into it. And now I have to still figure out how to get the throttles up on that. And when I do an initial start, I'll take this belt off so I don't have to worry about wrecking stuff there. Anyway, if you stick around, you'll see everything that I did, and hope you enjoy it. Then we'll see you next time. Bye for now. Here I am, new week on the Frankenhoover. I'll give it a try. I'm back to it. I was last week doing a bunch of other stuff. Maybe you saw the videos of stuff. Anyhow, I'm on a dilemma here of, like, I ordered this thing here. It's made to fit on a Yamaha like UTV thing, but it's just a bit too, well, it's likely the right size for cooling that motor, but it doesn't have, let me see, what am I trying to say? It's too big. Takes up all the space for airflow, and I need airflow to go past it, or else I'll have no propulsion. So this other little one here, I'm back to this little one here. What I might do with it is, like, it's got these two pipes coming out here, but I might just cut them off here and here, and then that will make it so it'll fit kind of nicely in there. Get lots of, kind of nicely right in there, and it would get lots of airflow past it there. So that might be a good spot for that little radiator. And I could try it out, see if it works. If it doesn't work, then if the motor overheats, then I'll have to rethink it and maybe get another one like the same size, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. I guess I'll carry it on. The other thing I thought about was putting the big radiator, which is this one here, and mounting it over here somewhere, like anywhere here on the Frankenstein, and then put an electric fan on it so that it would cool that way, and how to keep it out of the airflow. Because if you stick it in behind the motor here, whoops, it uses up most of the space that is allowed for airflow to go past there. But maybe I could, if I had it close enough, then it might work. Well, let me think about it a bit here more, because I have to change the top of that thing so the air comes by easier. So maybe I'll think about that a bit more. We'll try it out. If it doesn't work with the big one, I have an option with the little one. Try that, because I think the big one's like a better cooling system, but I don't know whether it would get enough air past it for propulsion. Anyhow, that's my dilemma. Sorry, there we go. Try it again. So I think I've solved my dilemma. I'll just put the radiator in on an angle like that, and that'll create enough airflow up and around it that I'm sure it'll get flow through to cool it, and then it'll also get flow over it to propel the machine. So don't know what, maybe like that angle there would be okay, and that would be pretty easy to secure like that. So I'll get at it and I'll build this bit, right? Yeah, there now. I took this thermostat cover off. Here's the thermostat. It's just got a rubber ring around it that fits in there, and I'll make this so that it points this way now, because it doesn't matter which way it points, doesn't care. But first I'll go and I'll stick this in some boiling water and see if it opens. Check that out. I'll check with you later. Yeah, here we are. This is how you test a thermostat. So I've got a candy thermometer in here. It works pretty well. And there's the thermostat. Cold water still. It'll warm up. Once it gets to, like, it should open at about 160 or 180, something like that. We'll wait and see. Might say on it, I'll check. Yeah, there it is. It works. It opens at a pretty low temperature. It's only, 130 degrees there now, and it's opening up. You can see it opening there, right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. But anyhow, it's opening, and I'll take it and throw it under some cold water. Can I get in there? Oh yeah. Oh, warm. But yeah, it opens. See, it's open from the top now. I'll put cold water to it, and then watch it close. See the top there closing? Yeah, so it works. Good. Nothing wrong with that. About 120 or 130 degrees it opens. Yeah, there we go. This just goes back on. And the rubber just slides right on there. So that's pointing to the back, so I can more easily hook up a hose to it and everything like that. Anyway, there you go. There's all the cooling hoses on. So this one, top one here, goes to the radiator. One from the other side of the motor over there goes to the back of here. And this one here also goes to the rad. And this one here goes underneath the thermostat. So I don't know quite what happens inside there. I think the water pump's on the other side, so yeah, the water pump's over there. So that's kind of a, an octopus of pipes, but I'll refine that later as I get closer to having a running machine. Now I've got to get some pipes to go from here to here, which I might make out of this metal pipe that I have. We'll see. Don't know if I have any. Well, I guess you could use fuel line for that, which I have lots of that stuff, right? Okay. Well, we'll just see what happens here now. This one, these two here, I'm not really sure. Like one goes to the top, one goes to the bottom. I presume that that's the bottom one and that's the top one. Don't know. I guess I've got a diagram for that, don't I? So I can figure that out. There you go. This is the diagram for the water cooling system. That's the wiring diagram. This is the fuel system. Here we are. I think this shows the injections. No? Try this one. Oh yeah, here we go. This one shows the injection system. So, doesn't really give me, to the engine it says. Those two go to the engine. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I knew which one came to the pump. Don't know for sure what they're doing in the engine. Because that lower one goes way down to the bottom of the motor. Wonder if that sucks it out or pushes it back in. Don't know. But I think, by the looks of things, here's one, right? Where's that one go? Oh dear, there's that one, right? And that one. And this is another. That goes on to the, that one goes on to the fuel pump. Or the injector pump, one of the two. Wonder where, no, the injector pump's part of the machine down here. So that one here goes to the fuel pumping and makes that work. This one goes to the bottom. This one must go to the bottom. Yeah, that one goes to the top. Just seems to be the way it is. Don't know for sure why, but that's how it is. Anyhow, I'll put it together that way, and if it doesn't work, we'll find out soon enough, I guess. Okay, now I'll start building a bracket here for this thing. So that's gonna, whoops. See, I'm gonna have the radiator about sitting like at that angle, but I've got it upside down right now because that's just easier to hold. And I want to have these on this side here so I can figure out where the holes go. So right there and right there. And then this will go on the far side. And then I'll fiberglass that down to there and find a way to, maybe I'll thread these things so I can put a nut on them. Okay, that'll work. And a couple of rubber washers. That'll be good. Okay, so now I'll cut this piece, put a couple of holes in it, and see what it looks like then. Yeah, there's the idea for the radiator now. See how that works out. I wonder if I have it on enough of an angle. I think I do. I just want to get some air over the top of it so that it'll let air go through, and I'll put it right in the middle so air will go around the sides of it and air will go over the top of it, and that'll be good. Anyway, we'll just see what goes from there. Yeah, so now I'll take this muffler off of here. It's not bolted down underneath there. I'll take it off and then I'll get that ready to do some fiberglassing there. That'd be more dust. Gotta have more dust. Gotta like dust. And I'll put a piece of reinforcement across there so that it's another one of these, so that it's got some strength to the floor. I'll have to get it lifted up, and then I'll just what am I trying to say? I'll get it lifted up, and then I'll put on a reinforcement piece like that there. Before I start doing that, because that's just a matter of fiberglassing it to the making it stick to the bottom. And what I'll do is I'll get it started just with a little bit, and then I'll take the radiator out and make it solid and strong. Okay, that's the idea. So I'll get this off first. Yes, here I am, creature from the Black Lagoon. I got the fan going there, and I got the fan going over there. So I'm just going to clean off this area in here. Then I'll put a reinforcement there to pull it up I'll put a reinforcement there to pull that floor flat before I start making anything else on it. Yeah, I'll show you as I go along anyhow. Okay, I was a long time getting to here because I couldn't quite figure out how to get that radiator to sit in here. But I think I got it figured out now. Well, if not, we'll see in the future. There, you can watch a bit of this if you want. Yeah, whatever that paint is there, it's about as thick as a layer of fiberglass. Anyhow, I've got it cleaned off and I'll start working on the thing. I've got to get the vacuum out and do some vacuuming here, and then I'll come back to you. Yeah, so that's about where it'll sit there now. Now took me a long, I don't know if I mentioned this, but it took me forever to get this going because I couldn't really figure out how to mount that radiator. So I was kind of procrastinating. Well, kind of. Yeah, sure. And so now I've got a pretty good idea how to mount it. And if I need to, I can change the angle by just cutting that piece of fiberglass to a different angle. That's not a big problem. But now I have to start building this up so it'll support it all. Yeah, I don't know if you got all that or not, but anyhow, that'll be coming up soon. Here we go. Okay, there's some layers on there. Oops, getting the yuck into my wrench. Uh-oh, that's no good. Can't have yuck in your wrench. So let's get this stuff put away again. Not very smart of me, but that's okay. Excuse me. Clean the yuck out of my wrench right there. Oh no. Now, so there we go. A couple of layers on there. I just put 2 layers on, then I'll put more layers on tomorrow and take out that center brace and put them right across so that it's about 6 layers total on there and up over the hump and everything like that, and that'll make that strong. Okay, that's all for today. See you later. Oh, there we go. Try again. Yeah, so that stuff hardened up right away. I'll leave it till tomorrow. It's a little bit warm still. Okay, it seems to work. Yeah, here I am, new day. Now I'll just take that angle iron off there and see how it worked out. Wait a minute, I'll set you up. We'll have a look and see. Yeah, that's about much as I can get done here now. I'll just have to wait until that dries, and then I'll think about what's the next step, eh? Yeah. So while I'm waiting for the paint to dry, I made a couple of guards to go here that will hopefully keep the fiberglass from burning away with the exhaust pipe coming through there. I'll try and figure out some sort of a shield in there to keep the air from pushing out that way all the time. Think about that, or maybe I'll think of something. We'll figure it out. Yeah, there now. The paint's dried enough to be able to put this into place and get it fiberglassed in. I'll snuggle it over to this side as much as I can, and that might leave room on this side for just barely enough room on this side for the container. We'll just see. That might work out. I'll figure it out here. That's got to be about there. Yeah, that might be enough room to put the container in there and hang it on here for fluids, all the fluids. So anyhow, I'll I'll take and clean up all this stuff here and then get it fiberglassed up. Yeah, no, there, that's about where it's gonna sit. And I'm just gonna put enough fiberglass to make it stay there and let it harden, and then I'll take off the radiator and finish up making it stronger. Then we'll see how it goes. And like I said, if I have to change the angle on it, it's easy to just, you know, change the angle, drill a new hole up at the top there. Anyhow, we'll see what happens. Yeah, there we go. That's put in there. See how it works out. It'll be, it'll harden up. I'll let it harden overnight now before I do any more. But that's where the radiator will live now. That looks pretty good. Okay, that's about it for today. And it's only like 3 o'clock. Oh, get a couple hours off. Well, maybe I'll do. I gotta have to grease the tractor. Haven't done that for, it's every 10 hours it needs greasing. And it's just come up on the time now. So that'll be what I come up with next. Greasing tractors. But you don't need to see that. Yeah, so my grease gun gave up the ghost here. I don't know what, all the grease came past the spring. And so of course it wasn't greasing. Anyhow, there's all the pieces. I had 2 of them here, that one old one I tried to take apart and make 1 out of 2, but they're different. So they're both gone to the trash. And I'll have to go get a new one. They're pneumatic ones, like they get $300 one for an electric one, but a pneumatic one like I had here, which worked pretty well until today, it was $81. So I guess I'd take a trip into Canadian Tire. So that'll fill up the rest of my day. Getting to finish up the greasing the tractor. Yeah, there we go. New grease gun. I'll just get my tractor finished. Yeah, there we go. That's tractor's greased up. And you'll be happy to know that the this stuff here is all hardened up well. That's solid there now. So what I'll do is tomorrow I'll take off the radiator and put it somewhere safe for a bit whilst I get the other stuff together here and sort of figured out. Anyway, that's all for today. So, well, there I am. I'll see you tomorrow, I hope. The anybody that's interested in the BMW over there, I did take it into town and shut it off at Canadian Tire while I was getting the new grease gun. And don't you know, it started right up again. So seems to be that starting issue is solved with the new coil. But wait and see. I'll give it another another month before I trust anything. Okay, see you later. Bye. Yeah, the Franken Hoover is taking shape here. So what I think I'll do now, I've got that, I'll show you here, that, whatever you call this thing, radiator, in pretty tight now. And that's a good solid fit there. It's strong. I'm surprised. Need a bunch of cleaning up around in there, but I'll do that eventually. And everything is good. Now when I was fitting that, I climbed up on board and I heard a crack somewhere, and I don't know whether I maybe cracked underneath here somewhere. Yeah, it looks like might have cracked. Well, maybe not. Who knows? I don't see any problems, but if I have to, I'll fix up underneath there with fiberglass. Anyway, I think I'll hook on the hoses, and then I'll see if I can temporarily hook on the, where am I pointing there? Hook on the hoses, and see if I can temporarily hook on the oil dispenser there somewhere, and fill it up with water and just see what happens. Maybe I can get it to run. Yeah, there we have it. Octopus of hoses all hooked on. So this one comes from the thermostat down to the radiator. That one there goes to the reserve from the radiator. That one here goes to the water pump from the reserve. The top one there, I think, is a bypass on the thermostat. I'm not really sure. So maybe that's a return. That must be a return of some sort. That's the way it was in the diagram anyhow. So here's the diagram. And this is both for the 500cc and a 670cc. So the 500cc from the top, this one here, goes to, where is it? This one, yeah, it goes down to the, this would be the radiator. On both the 670 and the 500 comes from the back, from the bottom of the reservoir to the other side of the radiator. So from that one, right, to the radiator. Other side of the radiator goes to the bottom of the reservoir in there. Okay. Then from the bottom of the reservoir goes to the water pump, which is on the other side there. Bottom of the reservoir, and that's this one here that snakes around and goes into the water pump, which is here. I presume that's a water pump. Yeah. And then the last one would be from this connection here. So the 500cc comes from this connection here and goes to the top thing here, right? So that connection to that. And that's all the water connections. So I can fill it up with water. Now I gotta get a little hose and just plug that up there, but I'll fill it full of water first because that's where I can let the air leak out that has to leak out of it. And then what? Then figure out I'll see if the water leaks, and then if the water doesn't leak, then I'll carry on and see if I can get the oil hooked up, which I'm going to lift this up a bit, just temporarily. I'll lift it up on something and so that it's up at a height where that oil would flow straight across there. I'll show you when I get it done. Yeah, there, it's temporarily on there. It's pretty solid. It's on this part here. Well, fairly solid as anything gets, hey? But now, the wall of the craft comes down here. So I'll have to, like from here, I'll have to sort of cut it out and make a bulge in this wall. So I have room for air filters, number one, and number two, I have room for this stuff to fit in there. So this wall will come out a bit here, and that'll be reconstruction on that bit over there. But for starters, I'll just sort of slap it together here and see how things fit. I've got a bunch of tubing like this, which I can put on here. That one goes to there. That one goes to there. And this one here goes to down below here at the bottom. So hopefully that pump will suck that up there, the oil. I'll put enough oil in it that it gets up to here, so it'll get a little bit of gravity feed on it for starters. Then we'll see what happens with it. Interesting. Yeah, so here it is now. I put one jug full of water in. Hard to say if that's leaking or if that's stuff that I dripped over. I think it's stuff I dripped over, but I'll check it out here. So I'll fill it up until it comes up and out of here. Then I'll put oil in it. If I can get that cap off. Yeah, that cap comes off. No problem. Then we'll put oil in it, and then after we put oil in it, I'll see about hooking up the electrics. Then see if it'll turn over. Then see if it'll start. Oh, all those things to do. Then I have to figure out a way to get the in here goes the cable that for the throttle, eh? So anyhow, we'll get to that. Yeah, there I put a plug on here, and then took the thermostat out and filling it up to the top there. Pretty near full. So it took about 3 of these jugs to fill it up. I'd say that's full. Now I'll put the thermostat back in. Right, there it is. And tighten it down and just, that's water filled. I'll just see if it leaks anywhere, if I lose any. Yeah, so in reality, this level should be up here. So it's the same level as that when you can fill it, and then you can fill it from there. But anyhow, didn't happen this time round, but it would somewhere down the road. I'll get that lifted up somehow. We'll see how it works out. I'll get some oil for it and put that in. Yeah, that's the same oil that I use in the boat. That's injector oil, 2-stroke injector oil. I filled it up to here. Now I think that what happens is this goes in to the crankcase, and maybe it oils the bearings and then recirculates into here. I'm not really sure. Not really sure how that works, but I imagine it'll show up eventually, because they were both dirty, so I think there's a circulation that happens in there with some of this oil to keep the crankcase cool. Well, who knows, eh? Anyway, now next is to or keep the bearings cool, right? Next is electricity to it, and then fuel. I'll think about that for a bit. Yeah, there's the wiring harness back into it. Don't know what half the wires are for, but they're in there. I think that might go to the battery, because it's got a fuse on it. And I think this one here might go to the solenoid on the starter. Then the starter would have just a ground on it somewhere. So I'll just check it out and see what I can come up with. I've got a wiring diagram here, but it's really very hard to follow, because it's not a very good diagram that I can't understand, but maybe I'll get to understand it. Here it is. It's got all sorts of stuff for the 500 and the 583 and the 670. So, like the cutout switches there and all sorts of things like that. I'll see what I can figure out what goes to the starter. Yeah, I've got all these wires. So starter's optional, but I have the option. So here, I don't know if you can see this, but this is 30 amp fuse, which I have there, and a red wire goes into the ignition switch, right? Then this red and green wire, which is also, I also have a red and green wire. It comes from, I would think, the solenoid, and it goes red and green, yeah, it goes into the starter switch, which is what I have, right? Then the battery is hooked in here or wherever, and it's got a positive wire to the 30 amp fuse one, and it's got a negative wire to a ground, which is anywhere out there. And then things should start coming together. Ah, neat. Okay. Well, I think I'll do that tomorrow. I'll see what time it is now. I wonder what time it is. I think I'm just about had enough today. Yeah, look at that, 4:59. I know exactly what's going on here. 5 o'clock is beer time on the deck, I think. So I'll go and do that and come back to this tomorrow. But some progress, eh? That's all right. We'll carry on tomorrow. Yeah. Pretty quiet day on the Hovercraft today. The Frankenhoover. Anyhow, but I did go into town. I got a fuel bucket for it and fuel line. I have to get that put together. Filter, line, and the adapter thing to go into there. They all come in, like the tank is like $75, and then the fittings for it are another $50 or 25 or 50 bucks by the time you get everything in there. So nothing's cheap. Anyway, that's for later. I'll get that done. I got my 6-volt charger on the little battery here for the motorcycle, just because. See if it'll take a charge. It might charge up. You never know with this thing. And then I'm gonna get the boat pulled out and see if I can get that cleaned up and ready to go. Because there's a nice bit of, it's later in the afternoon now already. I didn't do anything today. I was lazy. But I did turn the air conditioner on in there, so it's cool. Now, over here, where's the boat? The boat's over there. And I'm just going to put it over in the shade over here by the lumber mill, and then see if I can get it cleaned up and just about ready to go. Anyway, I'll show you what happens. Yeah, so here it is Friday, and all of a sudden the week's gone by again. Now, I didn't get much farther than I've got water in it. It doesn't seem to be leaking, so that's a sign. And then I did get this fuel tank. I got that and picked it up yesterday, but I never ever got any farther than that. So I guess I hope to be able to get it running this week, but maybe that'll be next week. It's going to happen because it's Friday, and I'm pretty sure that that's about as far as we get today, this week. So maybe next week will be a Will It Run episode on it, eh? Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed it all, and I've got the air conditioner running in here now because it's stinking hot out, and we'll see how it happens for next week. Bye for now. Yeah, so it's halfway through July 2023, the 15th today, and things are pretty quiet at the beach. I can hear the kingfisher out there, but I don't know, you likely can't see this, but way out on the water there's sailboats everywhere because it's race week in Charlottetown from the yacht club, and they come out just in front here to do their racing. Now maybe I can take the I might be able to get so you can see that. I'll give it a try, see if I can get that zoomed in. Anyhow, there's got to be 30 or 40 sailboats out there. Nice view. Yeah, and more of them over there. I hear the doggies going in a little bit of water.